some good results there for the midweek show. We had double headquarters, so looking forward to that as well. Beaver, do you fill your pockets or what's going on?
Well, I did, mate, but I think you messaged me before the last at the farm, wasn't it? Or Canterbury was on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was
Seems
race
so long
6.
ago.
Yeah, we
Right,
still
and you said we tipped the card to
Mhm.
that point, and I can't remember what won the last.
Not us.
Not us.
The
Okay,
mock
so
struck.
we got it all up until the
Oh,
last.
I can't remember. No, let me have a look. Talk
So
amongst
that
yourselves.
wasn't a bad effort, and yeah, so that was quite a good result for all those that have been watching.
Yeah, and we finished on Mr. Yushu late in the day there as well. Was good. But we head to Randwick as I just quickly look at what won the last at Warwick Farm now out of interest. Authentic Jewel. Now we missed that. We're in the blue colours there. But not a bad day. Just a couple of nice messages since then. So let's keep it rolling at Flemington and Randwick. As I said, it's Villiers Day. We'll start in Sydney where we copped some rain yesterday. Not a lot around today or tomorrow. So I think it does get back to a softish track. I think it's going to be bottomless or anything like that, Beaver. So with the rail in the true, it should play okay. Yeah, typical softish Randwick. So no demons there. We kick off with a highway though, over the 1,000. Are you going to have a look at this race at all?
Yeah, I am for once. I like the favourite here, Miss Ostend. Drops right back in grade here.
Mm-hmm.
Been contesting some pretty good stakes races and has acquitted itself very well here. This is this is a real step back in grade, and I think it's got a bit of ability against this type of field. A couple of starts back, first up, absolutely brained them. So I think he can probably get away with the first.
Cool. Yeah, I've got not much to add. That was too deep for me to get into. The second is the midway though, benchmark 72. I do like the fact that they stick the midway and the highway at the starter, so it doesn't affect our quaddies. They're out of the way early. The mile 72 here, though, I'm with the market's in the right order. I think Trevest was pretty good, chasing a heavily backed and spruiked horse last start in Divine Breath. Beat the rest pretty easily. Gate 1 will need a bit of a trick from Tommy Berry, and probably the only concern because it is a bit of a fruitcake horse at times and maybe needs fresh air. So main concern for me. So I was with it from obviously Media Star Guest through the Chasing Lord Ardmore last time, which arguably might be a stronger form line, to be honest. But they're the main two that I really looked at. And then distance back to He's a Gentleman, who's honest and going well enough under Josh Parr. What are you thinking here?
Oh, mate, I'm happy to move on to the third. Didn't like the race, didn't fancy anything, so we'll leave the punters with your selection only.
Cool. We've won each in the first two races there. Let's get to race 3, 1172. Nice resumption from Dragonstone Beaver. Are you sticking?
I am sticking. This is a race in 2. It's from the Newnham and Cummings horses, leaning towards Dragonstone. Yeah, I think it's a good horse on the up with plenty of ability. So yeah, that's my selection. 3 kilo claim for Schiller here certainly helps. So meets Bacchanalia at the even weights at 55, but it's going well as well, and we'll chase hard.
Yeah, I'm with Dragonstone on top from Bacchanalia, as you've said. The two I'm going to throw in the exotics, though, just outside the price there. Meg is a previous Saturday winner. It's $26. Gets Jason Collett after winning in town with Ellen Hennessy and then heading up north where it got injured, but resumes here. Just thought might be one for your trifectas and first fours. With my tongue working this morning. And Kibosh was a nice trial and it's $17 as well. So there's a couple to round out your trifecta from 2 and 9. Race 4 is the listed Christmas Cup over the 2,400 metres. How's this for a race? The old plotters all going around. You got any confidence?
It's a beauty. I'm going to go with Mighty Beale. Okay. It's just been ultra consistent this time in. Herman Hesse, I'm just not sure about. I thought Mighty Beale ran a good race last start. I think the sting out of the ground's not ideal for it, but it goes up in distance now, racing well. It chased home a good horse last start. Like Polly Gray goes fantastic on the wet. It's won some better races than these types of horses, and it ran it to a length and had to chase it on a heavy track. So I liked that. I think it's hard fit, and it could be hardest to beat.
I'm going to take it on just first time to 2,400 meters. I'm going to look at Herman Hesse, who's had the 2,400-meter run, which I think you'll need on the testing track. And same for Hush Rider, who's going to get control of this race. So I was looking, yeah, 4 from 2 here. Danila Quinn was saved from yesterday to race here as well in his 30s. So again, might be one for your multiples. But just taking on Mighty Bill, who's been fantastic for us, and no knock on its honesty, but your first time out at 24 was the one question mark I had there. So just going against it from that point of view. 1,000 meters nursery, English nursery restricted race here is race number 5 for the 2-year-olds. And we see Baldino coming up from Caulfield, leading the market. What are you thinking with the babies here?
Yeah, pretty tough race here. I'm gonna go for the Waterhouse Bot horse, Athletica. Thought it trialled really well. Backed that up with a really nice debut win, and based off that, I'm just going to take on the favourite a little bit at the price, and go for the horse that won its first start and won well.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I know it's targeted this race too. They're targeting the restricted races here with this horse. Consider that win at Newcastle barrier trial. It's going to roll forward and get control. So happy to be with it. Couple outside the market. I'm taking on the favourite, and I've been wrong before. Couple outside the market. $17 around for Irish Rover. I thought trialled okay. Valspar's interesting as well. Hawks team that just ran on from the back under very little riding in its trial. So they're the couple at odds if you're looking for any. But I'm with the Waterhouse trained Athletica as well. So interesting. We've both found it because you're not always necessarily after those runners, are you, Beaver?
No, I'm not.
You've got a blood relation who likes them even less. But shout out to the
That's
Gubby.
right.
1,200-meter benchmark 88 is race number 6. Where we see Irish Angel backing up after a dominant win in these conditions first up. I think gets the same setup, and I think it gets the same result. This isn't any stronger than what it beat last time, is it?
No, I thought the same. I was a bit confused by the market, to be honest. That there was sort of those 5 horses under the double figures odds, and some a bit close to Irish Angel in the market. I thought around the $3.50 mark. I thought that was a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
I thought this was I probably had this priced at about $2.80, $2.90. So yeah, I think it was fantastic first up, and I can't see any reason why same conditions, same setup, same draw, well weighted at 55, it can't win again.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not going to even say much more about it. I think it's a pretty good bet here. The main danger for me, the one I'm interested in looking at, is Cloudy, who was resumed pretty well, and is also in down south. I think if it goes down south, very hard to beat, but I haven't seen the update on that just yet. The one of the features on a day is the Razor Sharp, the over the 1,200 meters listed race here. What are you doing?
I'm going for Snap Dancer, resuming. I think this horse has got a little bit of talent. Last preparation, had a couple of nice wins, and then stepped up into more difficult company and acquitted itself quite well. I think it's drawn well in the 5 gate. And I think the 6.5 kilo pull off 11.11 could be telling. And then even off some of the other horses, I think that's a really good weight pull. 11.11 was a good run last start. Chased down Malkovich down the outside, hit the line really hard. That was impressive. But I just think Snap Dancer, with the draw at the weights and fresh, is the one to beat.
I am going to stick with 11.11 despite the weights. I think there's only 2 hopes. You've summed up Step Dancer pretty well. The trials were good too. And it did have that win in Sydney last year where it just destroyed that field. When it towed up Talier, who would be in the market here. But I'm with 11.11. Just love the way it chimed in and ran down a pretty good one in Malkovich, one that made it chase. I think it's going really well. I think it's going to go up to the millions and be very hard to beat up there again. From Snap Dancer for all the reasons you've said, and they're the only 2 I'm pretty much looking at in terms of a quaddie. I might throw Dawn Passage in to that when we get there just for my own sanity, but we'll get to that
Yeah,
shortly.
that'd be interesting. If you go back to last prep, Snap Dancer ran 2 lengths behind Probabil
Oh, 100%.
at
No,
Caulfield.
definitely not
So
knocking.
that's pretty good form for a race like this.
I think it clearly starts favourite. I think they'll back it for
Yeah, I think
all the
that's
reasons
right.
you said. So, if you like it, get on it now. Race 8 is the Group 2 Villiers for the ticket into the Doncaster, I believe it is these days. Over the mile, good field. We know them all pretty well, and we've seen the lead ups here. What are you doing?
Um, yeah, look, interesting race. You've got the main two in the market, and then everything sort of gets out to double figure odds. I'm going for Steely. Really liked the win last start. It was well backed, well fancied in the market. I think it probably. I liked the way that it kind of got caught a little bit wide and just went sat outside the leader,
Mm.
and then just its turn of foot in the straight was pretty good, and then just dug in and fought it out. I thought that's pretty good. Gets a good weight. It drops from 60 to 53 from that run, so I think that's good, a good pointer. It's drawn well in the 4. I think it's been set for this. It's third up. It has everything going in its favour, so I think it's going to be the hardest to beat. I'm willing to take Ellsberg on a bet. I did back it last start, and it is going well, but it steps up to 1600 here. It's on the sting out of the ground. It's on the at Randwick, so you've got to be able to run a really strong 1600 out. I'm not sure whether that's Ellsberg's go. It may prove me wrong, and depends on what pace it is on in this race and what kind of run it gets in transit from the 9 gate. So I think I'm willing to take that on a little bit in this race. And then outside of that, lots of chances. I Am Superman. Thought it was pretty good last start. Was unlucky not to win that race. Certainly feel as though it's a chance at the round about the 20 mark. But yeah, there's lots of horses here that you could back, and they could pop up. But that's where I kind of went. Kerwin's Lane was the other one that I'd be throwing in.
I like the chaser from the Ellsberg race, Stockman. You mentioned a testing mile in the conditions. It's a 2,000 meter horse here. Joe Pride targets these races and targets them very well. It's $12. I like the draw in these big mile races, drawn out there to finish off well. So I'm happy to take something. I have something on Stockman around the $12. And you've pretty much mentioned the other two chances. I like Ellsberg's win. I like the fact Tim Clark goes back on. I respect what you've said about the negatives there, which is why I think Stockman can turn the tables. And Steely's flying, and maybe we don't know how good it is just yet. Just it's hit a new peak this prep, and I think it's going really well. I'll talk about the other chances when we get to the quaddie. Few disappointing last start. I thought we can get rid of order again. We can get rid of some of those horses that we've been with for a while now. Good race. Looking forward to it. Hopefully cricket's washed out and I can watch it. Benchmark 88 is the mile. Race number 8. Are you with or against Lakeen here?
I'm with. When I sat down and did the form here, I was looking away from it, and then I just came back. I just kept coming back to the form and analysing last start's run and the run before. You go back to Flemington, was very good. Beat a reasonably decent field, and then I went back to look at Kembla Grange's run, and it was behind Steely. It was 2.5 lengths behind it. Started favourite, got well back in the field, and it was hard to come from back of the field that day. So I just think and then I went looking for something else, and I really couldn't find a horse that I could find anything in their form that stood out to me. Equations, just I'm willing to pan. I just can't find it. And then some of these are just things that go around. Mubaraz, and some of those Caesar's Palace, Al Mahaha. I mean, I just could not get keen on. This is the up and comer. Yeah, so I think it has room for improvement, and it won't need much to beat these.
I've got one of those on top. Mover I think the freshen up, resumed okay, quickly out the distance, claim. I think it's a real line chaser. Does need a win. Has been about 6 months since it's won, but I think it can give us a side here. You've summed up Lakeen really well again, and that's I agree with you for the rest of the field. Though I was happy to pen on the rest of it. I'm happy. The only one I won't is happy to forgive Wits About Him, who everything sort of went wrong on debut down at Sandown, and it's 20, so we'll go in the quaddie there just in case it does. They've sent it to Sydney, and I think they're looking for wet tracks. So, the 20 is happy to try and get something back from what we lost on it last time. We finished the day for benchmark 78 over the 1,400 meters, where I'm going to finish today with Bjorn in the last. Dynamic Impact's flying, 2 big wins, and what else do you want me to say? I think it's going to win 3 in a row. From Brooks by only 2 hopes. And I haven't made dry suits Brooks by better, but it is Nash Gate 1. So they're the only 2 I'm going to talk about here, but I think Dynamic Impact is underrated here.
It's me too. I was going to say exactly what you said. Like Dynamic Impact, it's flying at the moment. It's third up, Bjorn in the last. Only concern is probably a little bit increase in weight in the jockey. Not overly fast, but
and has to roll forward and stay out of trouble. On.
Yeah, that's right. So, but it's going well at the moment. Again, I think $5 is probably further in the market than I expected. I would have thought these to be closer together in the market, not double the odds. So Dynamic Impact at this stage, I think, is a nice bet.
Fantastic. For progripracing.com.au, check them out for their free tips and extensive guides as always. Your best in value from Randwick on Villiers Day.
Yeah, value is a bit hard to find. I'm fairly keen on a lot of my selections tomorrow. I think they'll all run really, really well and be super hard to beat. So I'm going to make my value the last race 10, number 6, Dynamic Impact. It's not huge value, but it's a little bit of a value. And then my best bet of the day, I'm going to make race 6, number 4, Irish Angel. I think it's overs at the moment.
I'm with you with the value. I struggled to have stabbed one at any longer odds, apart from the couple I sort of mentioned earlier for trifectas and whatnot. But Dynamic Impact is the best value on the card, in my opinion. I'm going to make my best 11-11. I'm going to stick and back it with the weight. I also think Irish Angel is very, very hard to beat. So I need to do. Am I doing the Sydney quaddie? Is that the rule these days?
You can do Sydney, yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Let's kick off with 1, 11-11, 3 Dawn Passage, 10 Snap Dancer, into 1 Bandersnatch, 6 Ellsberg, 8 Stockman, 15 Steely, into 3 Mooberies, 1 Lightning Jack, 3 Mooberies, 8 Lakeen, 14 Wits About Him. And we'll come home with 5 and 6 Brooks By and Dynamic Impact. In the, let's just throw Love Planet in as well, just in case, number 10. But pretty comfortable with that quaddie in Sydney. We head down south to Flemington, where I believe it's a good track, and I believe the rail is in the, where's my notes here? It is in the True, which is what I've said. So it's standard Flemington. We kick off with the 2-year-olds up the straight. Have you got anything in the first for us?
Nothing in the first, mate.
Just mentioned a scratching there. Out of a Flicker stays in Adelaide. It'll win race 1, number 1 in Adelaide tomorrow. Out of a Flicker, but nothing else really from the unrace there. Race 2 is the mile benchmark 70. What have you got for us, Beam?
Looks another race I'm not overly keen on. Probably start the day a little bit later tomorrow with my punting. So I'm going to go with Brasada. Tipped it midweek, was scratched for this, about the $8.50 mark. It's going well enough and can run a bold race.
Yeah, I put Eluding on top begrudgingly from Brasada. Not overly keen. Eluding going well, does now, Matty Lloyd in town's going okay. Brasada, interesting gate one, can stalk gate 1 there and perhaps have last shot, but yeah, with you, not necessarily that keen on this one. Benchmark 78 up the straight as well. The 1100 is race number 3. What are you doing here?
Again, still wasn't overly keen on this one either, but I'm going with the top weight Diamonds. Ran a nice race last start. third in a stakes race in Adelaide and gets brought across here to contest at Flemington to go up the straight. Wasn't a bad run against it. It was a pretty good race. That was a really tight finish, that race. And prior to that, won nicely at Morphettville again in a reasonable race. So it's got all right form for a race like this. Some of these a bit unsure with this track and down the straight, but Diamond's on top for me with Craig Williams aboard in a fairly open, uninspiring race.
The Quinella from that Diamonds race will start favourite and second favourite in the feature in Adelaide tomorrow too. So we'll get a line there for later in the day. I'm with Dance to Dubai. I think it's going well. It was off a bias track last time, but towed up an okay field. So happy to stick here, and I will have something on Modir at the double figures. If it can get clear air, it's got a big finish on it, and might do something fresh there. The Staying Race, 2,500 meter benchmark 78, comes up next, where I'm going to go with, sorry, your lovely spouse just distracted me there. I'm going to go with...
Getting a coffee, mate. Very pleased.
Going with Canford, who... I'll get my thoughts back on track now. Going with Canford, who is coming over from Adelaide in a race I don't like at all. It's double. It's nearly 20 to 1. It's been running on honestly, and I think that form is not too far off the rest of this, which is fairly mediocre. From Ruru, who was smashed in the betting and did it pretty comfortably last time at Sandown and will run well again here. Got any thoughts?
Yeah, I just stuck with Ruru for exactly that, mate. I thought they came for it last start. It won well. It was a really good win. While a trained stayer, the 2,500, I think it's working into that distance range. I think it could be the horse that has a little bit of improvement in it and on the way up compared to some of these plotters.
Beautiful. The Living Legends plate, named after you, Beaver, 1,400 metres, benchmark 70. I'm sticking with Guardian Spirit here. I think both wins have been good. It was 3 wide the whole way and one maiden first up. And I was against a bias, but ground home, I think the win was better than it looked there at Sandown. And from here, I think it can sit on the favourites back and have last shot. So happy to stick there around the price. Obviously, favourite hard to beat, but has been beating up a lot of not much in Adelaide. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm the same as you, mate. Guardian Spirit for me. 2 out of 2 this preparation. Flying at the moment. And look, I think it gets the right setup here. Inside gate, a little bit of a worry, but as long as they can pull it out at the right time, I think it can run on and be hard to beat.
Beautiful. Race 6 over the 1,400 metres. Clash of a couple of nice horses here. Are you with Lighthouse or one of yours in Bermudez?
Look, I've flipped to Lighthouse. It was outstanding last start and looks to be a horse with a real lot of potential. So I think Lighthouse is going to be hardest to beat. Bermudez is a good horse. I just don't know if I can give Lighthouse the start and get past it. So for that reason, I think this is a pretty good Nello. But Lighthouse just slightly on top.
Yeah, same for me. First time we see it on the dry, which is maybe the only question mark, but could be even better. Happy to be with it. I think it's been impressive both starts here from Bermudez, who is a nice horse. They're riding it much more positive now, riding it to advantage now. And the horse it beat last start, brained them a couple of weeks back, Typhoon Harmony. But they're the main two. I think they're the main two we'll worry about come quaddie time. And we'll move on to race 7, the 1,000-metre Kensington Stakes, the listed race here, where I will go with, I'm not overly confident, but I'm just going to have something on Tequila Time. I think it's been flying. I've found a lot of Adelaide stuff today. Deserves a crack here at listed company, and this isn't a scary race by any means. It's up and going and happy to stick with it. It does have Jamie Carr booked from Sartorial Splendor, who, if it gets a soft enough lead, is always hard to run down. Might need the run. I couldn't find any trials or anything, so might need the run. But they're the two for me. What have you thought of this?
Yeah, I went for Satirial Splendor. Just thought it might be able to get out in front and hold on. It's drawn gate 13s, so hoping the better goings down sort of the middle to outside of the track. And it just might get cozy enough lead and has enough fitness edge here. Um, the one at price I thought was a chance third up is Parsifal. Um, its last preparation was pretty good, has decent form. First two runs in this prep have been okay. Um, I think he can run well down the straight.
Yeah, agree with that. Race 8 is the 1800 meter benchmark 84. Where have you got any thoughts here? Because I don't.
I narrowed it down to two, and I've just gone on top Sign of Asuri from the McAvoy stable, 3 kilo claim. I just think it's been ultra consistent at the moment and won't run a bad race here. It'll get up on pace and, it'll look a chance somewhere in the last 200. So with a bit of fitness edge, I think it's my on topper, but I will save on Good and Proper. I think Good and Proper is probably the best horse in the race. Hasn't had much luck of late. Um, and the races haven't been run to suit. So I think it can run extremely well, but I'll be chopping out on both of those.
And we finished the day with a 1200 meter benchmark 70. I don't know if this is any easier. What are you doing here?
I've landed on it's a tricky race, right? Because the first three in the market are all drawn 20, 21, 22. And they all seem to be the main chances. So a lot will probably depend on a little bit of luck in running and where they sit and where they get to. I've gone for Kentucky Casanova. Really pleased with the smart win at Sandown. Again, it was well found in the market. But yeah, it was just, I thought it was fantastic in that win. It looks to be a horse packed with potential, as does the Paddy Payne 6B63. They look to be the two up and comers. So I'm going to stick with Kentucky Casanova.
No confidence, but I'd flip them. I think 6B63 has been good as well, all three starts. But I did really love Kentucky's win as well. I thought the two outside the immediate market were the top two, Husay and Proper Rouge. They're going in my quaddy. But yeah, 8 from 13 without a great deal of confidence. At that price, I'm probably happy to back both of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In a tricky race to finish the day. Do you want to do your Flemington quaddy here? Good luck with this one.
Yeah, I'll start my quaddy. I was going to do my best and value first, but quaddy it is.
Either way.
No, it's all good. So in the first leg here, I'm going number 2 Lighthouse, 4 Bermudez, and 15 Derive.
Yep.
In the next leg, I'm going number 1 Halvorsen, 2 Satirial Splendor, 5 Parsifal, 6 Maliva, and number 10 Zipping Boy.
Beautiful.
In the next leg, I'm going number 1 Royal Mile, number 3 Sign of Azuri, number 8 Legend of Zorro, number 10 Fifth Position, and number 11 Good and Proper.
Yep.
And to finish the day, I'm going number 1 Husay, number 8 6B63, number 13 Kentucky Casanova, and number, where was it? Down the bottom here somewhere. Number 17, Yulong Justify.
Beautiful. Cool. Yeah, looks good to me. Now give us your best in value that you're keen to get out for progretracing.com.au.
Yeah, my value bet comes up in race 4, number 10, Ruru. I think it can be super hard to beat. And my best bet comes up race 6, number 2, Lighthouse.
I'm with you again with the best. I've got Lighthouse as my best on the day. And I'll make Canford value in the staying race. You can run to a place there at a nice price for us. that wraps up our thoughts on Flemington. Anything up north, Beaver? I've not even.
Yeah, I'm saving my punting to late in the day up at Eagle Farm. My best bets come up. Race 6, number 3, Expat. The Sydney side are going up to Eagle Farm. It'll jump in front and be super hard to beat. I think race 7, number 3, Shooting for Gold. I think it can bounce back to the winners list. Again, I think it's a horse with plenty of quality. My next best is, then I come to the last race, was the other thing that I liked, was race 9 at number 6, Jacama. Won well last start, should get a good run in transit here and be super hard to beat.
Very good, Beaver. Well done. Any thoughts on the cricket at the moment?
Mate, fantastic, isn't it? Congratulations to Travis Head. Came into this test match having something to prove and took the game on and was outstanding. So hard to go against that. Davey Warner was great as well. Fought hard and yeah, just some quality bowling and yeah, nice shot, Rory Burns.
It was a nice shot.
What was going on there? His front foot went 2 foot outside of off before he let go of the
like
ball.
He took guard on off stump or something.
Well, if you go back and look at the highlights, his front foot was 2 foot outside off. I don't know how he's even anywhere on the stumps. If his bat doesn't hit that, he's
in trouble.
Dead.
Yeah,
he was always in trouble first night. I think he was just it's awful.
Yeah, pretty ordinary. But I look forward to a
Straight's fielding was fantastic. It's catching.
Yeah. As opposed
really
to England, which wasn't. Anyway, we'll get back and watch that and get through the weekend. Plenty of cricket, plenty of good racing too to get us through. Good punting, guys. Thank you, Beaver. I will talk to you over the weekend. Catch you soon.
Good stuff.